The country is facing a whole lot of pressing issues, in fact, right now on the COVID pandemic and its effects on families as well as businesses, and an increase in the gun violence that we've been talking about, national unrest. You can add that to the list, and calls for police reform. There's a whole lot of things on the table.
Yeah, in just the first few months of the administration, President Joe Biden and Democrats in Congress have unveiled big plans to tackle some of those issues. So to continue with our big morning of guests this morning, right now live with us is New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez for a conversation of what is being done in Washington, how it will help local residents. Senator Bob Menendez, welcome to the Pix More News again. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be with both of you and your viewers.
So, Senator, let's begin with something that everybody is watching very closely today, and that's the trial of Derek Chauvin. Jury deliberations begin because of the death of George Floyd. One of the most recent cases, really, to prompt calls for police reform back in the forefront, right? Is there anything being done on a national level to address this issue?
I know that here in the Senate Judiciary Committee, there is review of various pieces of legislation. My colleague, Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, is at the forefront of some of that work in terms of looking at police reform. I believe the administration under the new Attorney General is in the midst of administratively looking at what type of reforms should and will take place. So clearly, look, our police officers have a tough job every day. We depend upon them for our public safety. But by the same token, there has to be a standard that is nationally set to make sure that we have the right enforcement of the law under the right set of circumstances with the right appropriate uses of force when necessary. And so that's what is being viewed right now.
You know, I want to shift gears to this because there have been an astonishing number of deadly shootings across the country since the start of the year, which we've all been following and tracking. The nonprofit group, the Gun Violence Archive, actually tracked 147 mass shootings in 2021 alone. So what is it going to take for Congress to pass a ban on assault weapons? I spoke with Congressman Mondaire Jones last week. He talked about efforts being made, but truly we talk about this every time we see a shooting, and then we wait and nothing truly is done.
Well, you know, I voted for the assault weapons ban when I was in the House of Representatives. Unfortunately, it lapsed under the law. I'm ready to vote for it again. I believe in universal background checks. You have to get a license to drive a car because it can be a deadly weapon used, wrongly. You should be able to need to go through a universal background check. We should end the gun show loopholes, the ghost guns that you can get online. I have legislation to ban high-capacity magazines. High-capacity magazines are about high-capacity killing. So, Betty, your question really, I would say, I'll take the liberty of reframing it, is what is it going to take to have Republicans in Congress join Democrats to ultimately have the type of common-sense gun legislation that can make our communities and nation safe?
Well, what do you think? I have to turn that on you because you're there, you're having the conversation. How do you get past that hump?
And how do you bring Republicans over, right? It's all about bipartisanship.
Well, bipartisanship is certainly desirable. The reason I have such a successful legislative record of laws that have been signed by different Republican and Democratic presidents is I know how to work with Republicans on the other side. However, that's always when there is a willingness to do so. When it comes to the question of reasonable gun safety measures, there's not a lot of willingness on the Republican side to join us in these efforts. Evidently, even a weakened NRA still has a disproportionate impact with them. So we're trying to find where can you ultimately support some common sense gun reforms. What's wrong with the universal background check to make sure that somebody who has a criminal record or mental illness or is a domestic abuser doesn't get access to a gun. And what we will be doing, the Majority Leader Schumer has made it clear that there will be a debate and votes on the floor. And this is the first time that under previous Republican majority leaders, we haven't even had that opportunity. So they will have, and the American people will have a chance to see who supports reasonable gun safety measures and who does not.
Yeah, I really hope something actually changes this go around, right? So to be continued on that forefront. I want to focus right now on immigration and crisis at the border. Big topic right now. You wrote that the Biden administration's roadmap to citizenship immigration bill and criticized it for the handling on refugees. What are you urging the president to do then to fix the crisis at the border?
Well, the president was handed a terrible set of circumstances by the previous administration, and he is trying to deal with it. I mean, we have the most significant surge. I know that he has been engaged with Mexico and Central American countries to stem the tide. We are looking at doing in-country applications for asylum so people don't take a long and dangerous trek to the border. We have to understand why these people come. They come because if my choice as a parent is to stay or die, or see my daughter raped, or see my son forcibly put into a gang, then I'm going to flee and take my shot. So we have to change the dynamics of the root causes. The president has a plan to do that as well. And in the interim, I believe that having immigration reform, which for over 20 years I have been trying to achieve, ultimately is critical so that we can actually deal with questions like the border. But for so long as we continue the process as it is, with a broken immigration system, instead of fixing it and reforming it, we're going to continue to have this challenge.
Senator, before you go, I want to ask you something that's a little more localized for us, and that is dealing with some of the drinking water and lead in the water in Jersey. You know, those outdated pipes, they have been replaced, right? It's taken a couple years, but they've been nearly all replaced. You were with the Mayor Bloomfield when he announced a similar project in town. So talk to us about this money. It's not only being used for infrastructure, but to keep some essential workers on the job as well, right?
Yeah, the American Rescue Plan had about $360 billion for states, counties, and municipalities. I wrote that section of the law. And ultimately, as a former mayor and state legislator, I know the challenges that our states, cities, and towns are having as a result of lost revenues in the pandemic and foregone projects that they would have started. So yesterday in Bloomfield, we saw that the mayor tackling firsthand with some of the money from the American Rescue Plan, creating safe drinking water into Bloomfield residents' homes, something that I hope can be replicated in other parts of the state because of our aging infrastructure. And the Congress, talk about bipartisanship, and the Senate last week passed a safe drinking water and water infrastructure bill on a completely unanimous basis out of the Public Works and Environment Committee that I hope will soon be on the Senate and can accelerate such a process for the entire state and nation.
Senator Bob Menendez, we are pretty much out of time. Real quick, there's a lot of talk about this congestion pricing, driving into New York, right, from New Jersey, pay more money once you get into New York. What are you saying to the folks over in New York right now? Are you saying leave us alone over in New Jersey, let us just pay the one-way toll?
Look, New Jersey drivers already pay the highest fares. If you're from New York, Connecticut, and otherwise, and you're driving into the city, you have options. New Jersey drivers don't to get into Manhattan. They have to cross a bridge or tunnel. And it makes no sense even on the policy, because ultimately, if you're going to charge more to go to the bridge, then people will go to the tunnel and you'll have even more congestion. Yep. So it's very clear. We're not going to let it, we're not going to let New York, with as much as we love New York, we're not going to let it stick it to New Jersey and New Jersey drivers. Yeah.
It's kind of like double taxation here.
That's what I'm saying, Senator Menendez.
We'll be watching to see what you do. Hopefully you can make something work there. Senator, it's always great to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Great to be with you.
8:44, everybody. We'll be right back.